Darryl, just your overall thoughts first of all, please.
Well, obviously, it's a massive win for us. After last week, you probably would have thought that we couldn't do that. We lack a little bit of consistency, but we've got performances in us like that. I thought it was outstanding. The first half's probably as well as we played all year, and I know Willie would probably be saying that they were off, but I just thought we played so well. We dictated territory. Thought our kicking game was great. Front loaded RD. And then the second half just ended up being a war of attrition for us, really. I mean, we were under the pump. We got a couple of calls that were questionable, I'd say. But I just thought we held ourselves really well. We gave them. I thought they started to play slightly differently. Luckily, with his offload, they get a try early, which was just what they needed, really. I thought they got what they needed at the start of the second half, and we held firm, really, and we needed to. After that, there was a real big set battle that we ended up winning, but we didn't really have any good attacking position in the second half. So it was a fair rear guard effort, and thought our toughness and resilience in the second half was great.
What a way to sign off at home as well. What about the atmosphere tonight?
Yeah, buzzing. Obviously, OKR brought a lot of fans, so a sellout. We've had a couple of big nights here where we've been outstanding. We've beaten Wigan, Leeds, and now OKR here. So big nights for home fans, and I think the way we've played, we've shown that we can match it with the top teams. So I'd like to see us be a little bit more consistent. But other than that, I thought it was an outstanding performance.
What a difference a week makes. Just give us an insight into how you put Humpty Dumpty back together again.
Well, we're pretty honest on Tuesday, I think it was, when we got back together, and it's just, look, boys, this is unacceptable, and pretty much everything we did last week. But then, having said that, we still probably should have won that game late on with a bit more clarity. But we were way off. I just thought you could tell right from the start. You can tell with teams sometimes. Last week I went down early on, really, in the game. I could just sense it. Well, you could sense that there was a different performance this week, and I just think it's our attitude and mentality, really. If it's on, and I think from what I've seen so far, if we challenge, then we go all right. We've had a couple of real meek performances since we had that break, which have been disappointing. But tonight I thought was just right where we needed to be. So. If we can replicate that kind of effort, then we'd be a challenge. I think we need to get next week right, and then we'll see what happens then. But you need to play off games, one-off opportunities, and if we play like that, then one-off opportunities, we're capable of taking them. So I wouldn't want to play us, to be honest, if we bang at it, and that's the challenge for the boys, is to be bang at it every week.
You're in the box seat now, aren't you, ahead of next week? It's quite interesting with the Hull game being the day before. How do you sort of read next week?
Well, I just think us, because what we said is if we are going to go into the top six, then go in there flying. So go in there flying. That's it. I don't think there's... Well, just say hypothetically all get beat next week and we're in. Go in there flying. I don't think there's anything for us going and performing, and I think really that's the challenge for us mentally, is getting that right, and I think we will. I do think we will. I think we've had enough of those performances like last week to know that individuals, and I said this from the boys right at the start of the week, is you have to prepare well. We don't know what you're doing when you're going home. You've got to prepare well mentally, physically. You've got to eat well, you've got to sleep well, get ready for sacrifice over whatever it is. Length of October is the grand final. Just be prepared to sacrifice until then, and then you have an opportunity. Good challenge for us, I think.
Nicotimo was forced off, wasn't it? There was a fair few walking wounded as well that stayed out there. Has anyone given you cause for concern? Oh,
Seth's got a bit of an ankle. Thought it was his knee first, but a bit of an ankle. Hopefully not too bad. I thought he was really good tonight. He had a couple of little errors in the first half, but when he recovered from them, I thought he was excellent. Carried the ball with real intent and defended well. So Disappointed that we lost him, but then we had Griff on the bench, and Griff was pretty strong when he stepped in there.
Just lastly from me, did Max Jowett justify his recall as well tonight?
Oh yeah, well, he wasn't playing well, and Rocky was playing well, and I thought Max has shown the sort of work he's been putting in. He stepped up tonight. That was excellent. And when you get left out of a team, what you going to do? I think he's handled it impeccably, and he's come back and shown just how good a player he is, and that's what you want from anybody that gets left out of the team. I think it's a picture perfect the way he's handled being left out.
When he's at his best, where would you rank Max in terms of English fullbacks? He's as good at, if not better than anybody else at certain parts of a fullback's game. I think the thing that Max has got to get is tie it all together, and I thought he did that really well. We're challenging him to carry the ball a little bit better in backfield, because there's probably quite a few better than Max at that. But then he's generally great in the air. He's quick. His passing game is outstanding. So, I think he's up there. If he's right at his game, the challenge for Max, be consistent. Be a consistently outstanding fullback, and that's a challenge for him. Is that what separates the good fullbacks from the England fullbacks?
Yeah, I think being good at most things. I think that's an England fullback has to be good at most things, if not everything. And outstanding at quite a few. And he's capable of doing that. I think I don't think he's there yet. I think he has to stay tuned in with how he prepares himself to play, and when he gets that right, then he's a phenomenal player.
How do you sort of get him to almost like alter the way he prepares to play? Because that's on him rather than the coach, I guess, isn't it?
Well, it's a bit of both. I mean, I'm not saying he's preparing himself badly. I just think he can prepare himself better, and if he gets that right, the mental side of the game, and he carries the ball with, because he's physically he's in great shape. I think he can break tackles, and then he's more of an all round. I think his effort stuff defensively is great. That's really grown over the last couple of years. But yeah, it's a challenge for him to be the best. To play in that is a tough position to play. You're isolated, you're having to defuse bombs, and you get challenged in all sorts of areas. You have to manage defensive line. It's the most complex position on a rugby league field, and I just think he needs to just keep driving, keep getting better, keep striving to be the best he can be. And I think if he does that, then he's a good chance.
You said you fancied another crack at back at Craven Park. Are you pleased that you got that crack and produced what you did? Because you felt after that game you were pretty confident that in the right circumstances with the right players on the field you could.
Yeah, when we lost a tight game here, we were 10-all at half time, and then we fell away a little bit in the second half. We didn't really have the troops that we would want in the positions where we needed them, and I just felt like they're the best team. They've been the best team all year. So if we want to do something, then let's have a crack at them. And I thought tonight we showed that we can do that. I mean, the challenge for us is do it every week. Be more consistent. But yeah, I felt like I wanted to set the record straight to that second half, really, because I thought we let ourselves slip a little bit there.
There's been a lot of talk about our Wakefield slipping off. Are they feeling the length of the season, because there's been a few up and down performances? Do you think that proves that isn't the case? It is just pure consistency in terms of whatever that may be, rather than a fatigue and feeling the heat of the long season? No,
I just think we find out next week, really, and the week after. I think that's important. So we haven't come back from the week off exceptionally well. We had that week off, and then we've had a couple of performances that we would be disappointed with against Wigan and St Helens, and then we beat Huddersfield, but they're, with all due respect, they're not at the top of the tree at the moment, and then we served that up last week. So we're trying to find a consistency of performance and excellence that allows us to show that we're a consistent top 6, top 4 team. That's what we're aiming for. And that's a challenge for us to all of us really, the players, the coaching staff, to find that formula that shows that we were capable of doing it. But I think next week, the week after, if we're still about, that's where it shows.
Have you sat down with them at all in the last, even this week or a couple of weeks before, about not letting this season slip away? You know, so close to the top six, not fading off and fizzing.
Yeah, early on in the week, there was we spoke about the Cas game. It was like, look, boys, this is just not acceptable. You know, it's way off standards wise. Everything we've worked so hard on this year. So yeah, and then it's, well, what do we want this season to be? What do you want this to look like? Because coaches can say it as much as they want. The players have got to want it, you know. And we had our presentation night the night after the Cas game, and presented to the players that were leaving. And it was, you know, something around, look, we're still in this fight, you know, it's still in our hands, and we need to pay respect to the players that they're leaving, you know, and that's important. I think they've all been class for the club, and they're outstanding blokes and players. So you get motivation from all sorts of different areas, and one of them is make sure that we do ourselves justice, and that's the players that are staying, the players that are leaving, the club, Matt, family, all of it really. So we've had quite a few motivations this week. Mikey's 300th game, you know, another one. So it's just really pleasing that we pieced that together on the back of what we did last week. We didn't allow that to knock us off kilter, you know. And we've kept it still in our hands. So we've just got a great opportunity now to finish the job next week, and then see what happens.
If it does go down to the Salford game, it's kind of an opposite dynamic to this game. You know, externally the pressure was all on KR tonight, and obviously it's all going to be on you next week. Does that alter the way you approach it in that respect, or can you kind of shut out all those expectations?
Well, I just rewind 2 weeks to the Cas game really, and you know, all the pressure was on us there, and I think we have to manage and handle that better ourselves, and that's where I revert back to the individual players preparing themselves well. Because we've got a couple of sessions this week. They'll be pretty low-key sessions. We'll train Wednesday, Thursday, play Friday. Heads, it's all in the heads this time of year. So get your heads right. You know, bodies we're not doing a lot with this week. You know, it's just refresh, but we know there's an opportunity. You know, and that kind of performance tonight shows that we're capable of beating everybody really. But we have to be at our best. I think every individual has to be at their best. Don't think we can have anybody dropping below being right up there, as good as they can be. And I thought we were tonight.
Spoken about motivations. I think it's 13 years since Wakefield were last in the playoffs. It'd be a big achievement for the club, wouldn't it?
Well, I think on the back of just coming in to the competition, last year. And the fact that, you know, we talk a lot about when we're rolling round till we go to Hull and we look and we've got maybe 9 or 10 players who've never played there. We go to Wigan, it's the same. I think we had 7 or 8 who never played there. And these sort of arenas are kind of, you know, different, and they all throw their own dynamics at you. And it's just getting us having an understanding of what we're doing, everybody knowing where they're going and what kind of environment they're going into, and then. Yeah, just giving ourselves a chance. I think, you know, give ourselves a shot at one-off games, because you know, we've shown tonight that in one-off games we'd be really dangerous, and then it would become about absolutely zero pressure on us. You know, and I said a few weeks back to the boys, it'd be great to get a playoff experience. I think because when you're growing and developing, and you know, I think Lee and OKR have both done this as they've developed the club over the last few years. Is they've got opportunities, and then they've grown, and you look at OKR now, they're in a great position, and that'll probably be good for them, as daft as it sounds, I think. And yeah, Lee have done the same. You know, they've really built from coming in from the champ, and we're in that similar position.
Darren, do you think Lee and Leeds in particular, do you think they'll be watching this tonight thinking, we really don't want Wakefield in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. They'll feel confident. I watched Leigh last night. Thought they were really good. They've got some real powerful players. So physically, you got to be real good. I think they'll feel confident. But I just think we go and really challenge them. I think we're dangerous. We've beaten Leigh away, beaten Leeds away. So it's not like there's anything that we're really scared about. You respect the environment that you're going into, but it's not uncharted territory for us. So let's get there first, and then we'll see what happens.